help you with your playoff semifinal round. I'm guessing everyone's in.
Yeah.
Start, and then your DFS questions, because we have
Yeah.
a few other people that should be joining us shortly. But gentlemen, introduce yourselves, please.
The Fantasy G Pod on Twitter, the DFS Roundtable / the Fantasy G Pod on Facebook, and actually this will be my last show basically of the year.
You're not doing a show tomorrow, Tuesday?
There's no show on Tuesday. There's no show. DFS is done after this week. Jeff doesn't do shows.
Hey guys, sorry to cut you off. Some really important news here. Ezekiel Elliott is actually inactive. For those who have he is inactive. He's not playing.
Oh man!
Sorry to cut you off. I felt like that was important. Another note for our listeners: Lynn Bowden, if you have him, is a pretty interesting flex option. Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki are both inactive today.
Hey, so G was supposed to be on for an hour, but now with all these inactives, I'm not even sure we're going to have him for an hour.
No, I'm still going to be on here for the show. I prepared myself for stuff like this.
So here becomes a question, G. Would you play Tony Pollard in DFS?
Well, give me a second.
His price is $4,700.
How much?
He's going against a pretty good San Francisco Niners defense.
Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna run my model.
Okay, while G's doing that, Hamed, give me one flex: Hunt, Gage, or Carson. T-Bone Smith wants to know.
Wait, Chris Carson or Hunt? Wow, wait. Why can't you start both Carson and Hunt? That's a conversation for another time.
Yeah.
That's a conversation for another time. But I'm going with Chris Carson, just because of the volume. For the volume.
T-Bone, Hammond says Chris Carson. Jared,
I do want to know though, why can't he flex? Why can't he play both Hunt and Carson? So please post your starting lineup for us, please, T-Bone. Look at Jared.
Yeah, I was like.
Oh my God.
So this is a squid on my head, and you know where squid lives, Hamid?
Yeah, at the bottom of the ocean. I'm well aware.
Much like your takes at the bottom of the ocean. That is why I'm wearing this for our viewers today. I just needed to bring that out real quick. So your takes and squids have a lot in common.
Oh my goodness. He went and bought that hat just for that diss.
He probably did.
I won it at a theme park a few years ago. And then before we get serious, my random thought of the day is, why is something sent by car called a shipment, but something sent by a ship called a cargo?
I don't know, but Jared, I think they're having problems with your sound. Kyle says you have a bad echo.
No, that was just the music. It wasn't him.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah,
he sounds fine. It was the music.
He's
his
fine.
intro music, Kyle, it was just his intro music. We're all good. Did you find your question?
Wait, what was the question on that? Flex Hunt, Gage, or Carson? Oh, definitely Carson. It's not even close.
Well, he says his Robinson and Eckler are his other running backs. That's why he needs one of those as a flex. So he has Robinson, Eckler.
Got it. Okay.
And he needs a flex, Hunt, Gage, or
you play Robinson over?
Well, if he's playing three of these guys, right? Robinson, Eckler, and then one of the guys.
You know what? Remind me who's Jacksonville playing. Hold on, let me remember.
They're playing
the Ravens.
The Ravens.
I'd rather you play a Hunt over Robinson there. Hunt against the Giants over Robinson against the Ravens.
T-Bone. Play Hunt and Carson then.
Yes.
Okay. What UG?
I play Carson. I mean, those two running. Well, you can't change Eckler anymore because he play.
Yeah.
So it'd be Carson for me. I'd still play Robinson, to be honest. He's just the guy that gets all the workload, and they're not going to change the system at week 15.
Ravens has only allowed 7 touchdowns to running on the ground all year.
It's the same thing as we did last week, right? Volume matters a lot. Like last week, we were on McKissick or Davis, but to me, I think volume is the king. So I'm gonna go Carson for sure.
No, I'm not saying Hayden's not starting Carson. I'm saying to flex Carson, but then start Hunt in place of Robinson.
Okay.
Yes, the volume, of course, is also the snap share, but I just feel like the upside with Hunt against the Giants, because the Browns are expected to win this game. The Giants are shorthanded on defense and missing their best defensive player as well. And also on offense, they don't even have their starting quarterback. So, and also Evan Ingram is active, but he is not playing at 100%. So I don't think this game's going to be relatively that close. The Browns should control the game with the running game. And I think Hunt should be able to produce and outproduce Robinson in this case against the Ravens.
All right.
That's my take.
Okay. Well, we got a couple questions, and one of them.
Wait, Jared hasn't answered that one.
Oh yeah,
Jared.
go ahead.
I don't know what it was because I was
Jamming out. So
Yeah.
he has in his flex, Hunt, Gage, or Carson, and his 2 running backs are Robinson and Eckler. He's starting those 2.
Carson is the most underappreciated running back in all of fantasy, and you still have to stay with him.
So Carson it is. All
Yes.
right. So Randy wants to know Kirk Cousins or Mitch Trubisky for the highest upside in semi-championships.
I think he meant semi-final, not semi-championship. Nobody wins anything in semi. But I think to me, it's gonna have to be Kirk Cousins. I mean, I just can't trust Trubisky. And I know you guys are gonna say, "Well, why can't you trust Cousins?" I'm like, because I think Cousins throw for 300 yards more times than Trubisky, so I'm gonna go with Cousins.
They have the Bears, though, no?
Yeah, but I mean,
They're both playing each other. Trubisky and Cousins are both playing each other.
I can't trust Trubisky, man. Like I'm not gonna. I know if I close out my roster in fantasy football and I see Cousins, I'm like, all right, we'll see how it goes. But if I close out my roster and I see Trubisky, I'm gonna be like, oh fuck, let's pray.
What do you say, Hamid?
You know what? This really pains me to say this, but I'm gonna have to go with Trubisky, and this really is tough for me to say because I have never started Trubisky anywhere, even in DFS. But yeah, I gotta go with Trubisky here. He is facing the significantly easier defense out of the 2, and granted, also Cousins is efficient, but you're expecting efficiency from him to produce. Trubisky's going to be able to throw this ball against this defense. You can't say the same thing about Cousins against the Bears defense, even though it's not the same Bears defense that we're used to have seen. They've only given up 20 touchdowns, though, in total in 13 games. And the Bears only had – actually, if I told you today that the Bears have fewer interceptions than the Vikings, you wouldn't believe me. 11-7, the Vikings have more interceptions. However, where the difference is going to come in is pressure. Bears pressured – and blitz one of the most in this league, and they have 30 sacks versus the 20 sacks that the Vikings have. I think Trubisky should be able to throw for at least 2 to 3 touchdowns. I think Cousins sealed his 2 touchdowns in this game. So I'm going to take Trubisky here, but I don't like either of them. I hate them both.
Jared, break the tie.
2020 couldn't get any more weirder than when I have to agree with Hamid here.
Especially in a question like this.
and even especially a question like that, when you can't go out and find someone like Ryan Tannehill to start this weekend.
Oh God, of course.
You have to go use like a Trubisky. You got to play the biscuit. I don't like it. Play the biscuit, and let's move on before I get a migraine for saying that.
All right, Jason needs a running back full PPR. Akers versus the Jets, Montgomery versus Minnesota. And if you had to play one, who would it be, Russell Gage or Emmanuel Sanders? So first question, running back, Akers or Montgomery?
No,
I think Akers is a no-brainer, in my opinion. Against the Jets defense, I think that's a no-brainer. I love Montgomery, though. His matchup is amazing. But I think Akers will have the more opportunity. They've been feeding him the ball significantly more than Montgomery. especially from last week's performance, that you take away anything from that, I think Akers would be the one I would want. I would be only concerned about his goal line touches. And yeah, Montgomery has had a few goal line touches taken away from Cordell Patterson. But the only concern I have with Akers is goal line touches. Otherwise, I'm going Akers here.
Jared, what you got? Akers or Montgomery?
I think game script is going to play into the Rams' favor, where it's going to be Akers. Montgomery's done phenomenal the past few weeks for us, but I think they're just going to fall victim to game script, where they're going to be forced to pass more. And that's exactly why I said Trubisky in the last segment. So yeah, I'm going with Akers mainly due to game script.
What do you got, G?
It close. I mean, you can't go wrong, I think. But I'd probably choose Akers because I just think they're a better offense.
And then between Russell Gage or Emmanuel Sanders, who would you, in the standard league, who would you pick?
Standard.
Standard, Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, better game environment, better quarterback.
Yep.
All right, reason 3 Emmanuel Sanders and 3 Akers. Jackie Dodson and I she has a couple of questions, or he has a couple of questions. Season lead, Tyler Lockett or T.Y. Hilton at wide receiver, and Cam Akers or Miles Sanders at running back.
I'm not going to believe I'm going to say this, and I might get trash from you clowns for this. I'm going with T.Y. Hilton over Tyler Lockett this week. Tyler Lockett does have one of the toughest assignments this week as far as defense is concerned. Hilton has historically absolutely crushed the Texans' defense. I don't expect that to change, especially if you look at the past 2 weeks. He's leading this team in receiving yards, in touchdowns, in receptions. I think you stick with the hot hand. I think you go with T.Y. Hilton here over Lockett.
Jared, what say you?
What, man?
You're so depressed all day.
I just bashed all of his takes, and now I'm like forced to agree with them on everything
you're wrong.
He says. Everything he's saying so far. Did you guys purposely put me into this trap? Because and you have to. It's the Texans' defense, and Hilton's done great. And yeah, I'm not very insightful because I'm stumbling agreeing with this clown boy here.
Yeah, Hilton.
Are you kidding me?
What?
Sorry, I'm looking at Tony Pollard.
What?
Zeke's out. He's spinning. Zeke's out.
He's only 4,700 on FanDuel, guys. Come on.
Okay, so T.Y. Hilton, yeah, definitely over Tyler Lockett. Lockett hasn't really been consistent enough for me to trust him, but then again, we could say the same thing for T.Y. Hilton. But T.Y. Hilton, if you look at all his game logs versus what's their name? Houston Texans. Hold on, I got it right here because this was something that I was like,
he's absolutely crushed them in the past.
28 point, 19 point, 31 point, 18 point, 37 point, 29 point. I mean, I'm looking for upside in the playoff. I'm not looking for floor. I'm looking to win it all, So give me T.Y. Hilton over Lockett. And what's his name? Pollard going to be on Lockett, right?
Yes, that would be the Lockett. Yes, that would be the expectation.
Yeah, because I know DK Metcalf is playing against a little midget that's like 5'7". So I don't know how that matchup's gonna go, but it's not gonna work out. But the other second question was Cam Akers or Miles Sanders.
Yep.
Ooh, I think I had Cam Akers higher though. Yeah, Cam Akers for me. But damn, there's a lot of Cam Akers questions this week, huh?
Yeah.
I think it's just more. I'm just riding the hot hand. I'm going to go with Cam Akers over Miles Sanders. I don't trust the Eagles offense still.
I do agree with that. Not only that, a little bit about T.Y. Hilton, just to give some stats for everybody else. Last 3 weeks, his lowest fantasy output was 18.1 fantasy points. That's his lowest output. The last 2 weeks each, he's had over 25 or more fantasy points. So yeah, T.Y. Hilton is a must start this week. He's in the top 12 for me amongst all wide receivers this week. As for the part of Akers and Sanders, I do agree with G. I do like Akers here, considering the hot hand, of course, and he is owning that backfield. Game scripts in his favor against the Jets, which is one of the actually I think probably the worst scoring offense in the league. So this game should not even be close. He should get the bulk of the touches. We're looking at 20 plus here. I can't say the same about Miles Sanders, who's been, he's been fluctuating as far as his touches are concerned. I don't even think he's seen 70% of the offensive snap, or 65% actually for that matter. So
he saw 70, I think. But the sad thing about Miles Sanders is that if you really look at his game that he had big games in, it took like 2 big ass runs. If you take those away, he was just an average running back. Low end.
Well, you could say that about Miles Sanders last week. I mean, take away that 80-yard touchdown, I think it was.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Miles Sanders.
Oh, Miles Sanders. Oh, my bad. Okay, sorry. Yeah, okay. I thought you said about 80. Yeah, I was saying. Yep.
But what the fuck did I do to you? That didn't change your wrestling.
What say you, Miles Sanders or Cam Akers?
It's tough for me to the fact that I have to play Miles Sanders, but for my league, but I gotta stick with Akers too. And just the same principle. I have to ride the hot hand. And right now, the belief in Miles isn't extraordinary, but it's pleasing to know with Hurts in there, though, a scrambling quarterback who can also run. It opens up the opportunities for Sanders to actually be able to break out and perform. So if you see about a 13 to 15 point game out of Sanders, that's great. But to G's point, we have to go ceiling here. And right now it rides with Akers against the most disastrous team in the league.
Let me put it this way to everybody. If you combine Miles Sanders' touches for the past 2 weeks and add them up, it's 24. Akers' carries alone were 29 and 21 in the last 2 weeks. And sorry, I didn't mention the receptions, so it's actually 28. Akers alone last week had 29 carries, not even touches, that's carries. 5 red zone touches, carries, and 9 the week before. So Akers is getting not only the volume, but he's also getting the touches in the red zone, where it matters, of course, the most. Now, Miles Sanders last week had 4 red zone touches. Before that, he had only 2 combined the previous 2 weeks. So I think Akers is a must-start across the board. I think Miles Sanders is more of a mid to high RB2, but you're banking on a touchdown. Akers, I think he's a safe high RB2, low RB1.
Thank you. Hey, Courtney. Hey, Jared. Welcome. All right, you guys, we have a question from our boy, MB Football. He needs to sit 1 in PPR. Cooper Kupp, T.Y. Hilton, Terry McLaurin.
Woo-hoo.
Not Terry McLaurin.
T.Y. Hilton.
I'm not, you know what? I might get tracked for this.
Courtney has T.Y. Hilton.
I'm the biggest Kupp guy there is, but I'm benching Kupp here. You can't bench McLaurin next to Seahawks. He's a no-brainer. Just after everything I just said about Hilton, I'd be a hypocrite if I said to bench Hilton. So I have Hilton inside my top 12, and I'm gonna have to bench Kupp here.
You're gonna make one. So we have one. What did you say, Courtney? You said Hilton?
No. I actually was like scratching the chin going, oh, God, that's tough. I feel like,
that's tough.
I mean, Haskins has to have somebody to throw to, and safety blanket's going to be McLaurin. And history shows us that T.Y. has incredible games against the Texans. There's a lot of mouths to feed in Rams land. So, I mean, I'm playing Kupp in one of my leagues, but if I had that choice, I think I'd probably have to go Kupp 2, and that sucks. I don't like that at all.
Jared, number 2. What do you know?
I hate to agree with Hamid because it'll piss Jared number 1 off, but Hamid's right. It's Kupp.
This is our first show together, really?
Because he knows. Listen, he knows. He knows I've been preaching the good word. He understands. He saw. This is your mention. He doesn't even have the same eyes. The same eyes you get him. He understands.
Yeah, but McLaurin actually gets a huge boost with Dwayne Haskins coming back. Haskins gives him a huge boost, and it also takes down from guys like Logan Thomas and McKissick. just because Haskins he throws it deep, and McLaurin's the dude that runs deep, and the Seahawks have a bad secondary. So I can't bench McLaurin. T.Y. Hilton has historically absolutely roasted the Texans. I'm starting him everywhere in DFS this week. And the Rams could be up by 17 at the half, and they probably should be. So I don't see how much throwing they're going to be doing in the second half.
So everyone, I'm sorry, G, what do you have?
Oh, shit.
Which one?
That's a pretty tough one, but I think I'm going to have to go with probably Cooper Kupp for sure. I mean, I like Kupp and Robert Wood, but I like McLaurin with Haskins better. He gets like a 4.4 points per game bump when they play together. I mean, that's not saying a lot because it's Dwayne Haskins, but still, I mean, that's a lot of points. I'm going to take McLaurin and Hilton. I just like Hilton too much in that game. I mean, he's proven that week in and week out matchup against the Texans. So, yeah.
Jared, what you got? Jared, number one.
So let me get this straight. We just roasted Miles Sanders for not being able to be trustworthy the past 2 weeks before last week, saying he's been inconsistent, he's been struggling, the offense as a whole is in disarray. But then we're going to come back and say, with the gaudy numbers that McLaurin has just produced the past 2 weeks, and having Dwayne Haskins thrown to him, and the disaster that be.
Hold on. Okay.
So tell me this: who did McLaurin go up against the last 2 weeks? Let's start there.
I benched Keenan Allen earlier this week, not trusting him. I'm gonna bench Terry McLaurin because I don't trust him. And I might eat those words, but I tell you what, the man has not been the same since his ankle injury. He has not produced the past 2 weeks. He's all sunshine with a cloudy, stormy, rainy, crapshoot cloud over his head. He's not going to produce this week. You benched McLaurin. No other words beyond that. If we're
Wait a minute, no. Wait a minute. Tell me who McLaurin played the last 2 weeks.
I'm gonna call McLaurin out on the past 2 weeks.
Oh, we're arguing now. Tell me who McLaurin played the last 2 weeks. Can you tell me who they played?
Too tough matchup. I mean, anyway.
Really tough matchup.
If he's a star wideout, like you guys say, he's matchup proof, right?
Well, we didn't say star wideout. Now you're just putting words in our mouth.
Yeah, you're putting words in our mouth here.
We said tough matchup, bud. I mean, like Dwayne Haskins, he's trying to start. He averaged 4 more points, and Seattle is favored by 5.5. So I think Seattle's a pass funnel defense. It only makes sense that McLaurin's going to get targeted because Dwayne Haskins is not an intelligent football player, I would say. He has those little one route read, 2 route reads. Alex Smith has at least 3. He can read 3 different routes and see what he can do. But Haskins starting, I'm going to take him.
He went against the Niners and the Steelers. The Steelers are one of the lower middle tier teams to allow fantasy points to wide receivers, and he gives you less than 4. Come on.
Wait a minute. No. Wait, that's wrong. So first of all, the Niners and Steelers are both. They allow bottom 10 in receptions and bottom 10 in receiving yards allowed all year to wide receivers. So those are not easy matchups. Let's not say middle tier. Let's get the facts right here. The bottom 10. That's how good these two defenses are. So now
he has not scored a touchdown since week 9.
We got more questions because we wasted too much time
oh
on this.
God.
MB, you have everyone but Jared number one going with Kupp, you said. Jared number one would like to sit McLaurin. So Jared number one also likes to play players that get hurt. Keep that in mind. Joe wants to know, is Uncle Lenny your top value at running back with Zeke out?
Oh.
Is that Leonard Fournette?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, with Ronald Jones out, if you have Fournette, I would flex him for sure.
Yeah. The top value is still Leonard Fournette for me. He's 4,500. But obviously the real best value of the slate on running back is Alvin Kamara at 7,400. After that, Derrick Henry, Leonard Fournette. I like Kenyon Drake. One of the things that stood out for me is David Johnson actually making out to be an okay play. Not saying I'm going all out on him or anything, but with Duke Johnson, he's out, right?
He is out.
Yeah.
He's going to get value. I'm calling this week the breakout week for J.K. Dobbins. I mean, he had paid games the last 3 weeks, but maybe 2 weeks ago when he had that one touchdown, 70-yard game for 18 points. But I think this week is his breakout. I mean,
one quick point to that. Mark Ingram, everybody, is a healthy scratch. He's not hurt.
Oh, yeah.
This is a J.K. Dobbins week.
Oh,
so in
yeah.
DFS, I highly recommend starting J.K. Dobbins.
I'm playing him, so he'll be hurt. Don't worry.
Jim,
The guy I like is Gus Edwards.
I'm the Grinch. I'm stealing everybody's Christmas in DFS today.
Do it.
So, Jared, can you say Gus Edwards?
What was that?
He likes Gus Edwards.
He likes Gus Edwards. Your voice is really low, by the way. It's hard to hear.
It's his, I don't know. Does he have headphones on or are those gauges?
No, I don't think. Oh, he does.
Yeah, I got headphones on.
Okay. No, you say Gus Edwards? Jared 2 or Jared 1, whatever.
Yeah, Jared.
Since you have 2 R's, I'm just going to roll it because it's Jared, okay? Oh, you're the one with 2 R's. Okay.
Yeah, he's 2 R's.
Yeah, okay.
Gus Edwards has not seen more than 10 carries since week 9. He last 3 weeks, he's had 7, 7, and 9 carries. He has been seeing red zone touches, but you're banking on a touchdown, and that's what got him his fantasy points last week. He had 2 touchdowns, and he accounted for 8. That's accounting for 12 of his 18 fantasy points right there. His total yards were only 53. His usage is very low. He's under 50% in the last 3 weeks offensive snap share. So I don't know how much I want to trust Gus Edwards when you have J.K. Dobbins going to see majority of those touches. But of course, he's going to be rotated in.
And you're right. But from a DFS perspective, where you have
like sweet.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Now you sound so much better.
Yeah, so I just took my headphones out. But from a DFS perspective, you have. I think that what makes Gus Edwards kind of interesting is just because, like, from a GPP standpoint, and Gersten will know what I'm talking about here. But Fournette is going to be a big time play. You know, everyone's going to be playing him, and rightfully so. Fournette's a great play. But if you want to pivot the ownership to Gus Edwards, he's $100 cheaper, and you're going to get him at probably a 20th of the ownership. And I expect Baltimore to be up by 20 at the half, and I don't see why they need to run J.K. Dobbins into the ground. Give Gus the mop-up game workload. I don't like predicting mop-up work, but I do love Gus Edwards this week.
So let me ask you this then. Gus Edwards at 5,500 or Tony Pollard at 4,700?
Gus Edwards is 44 on DraftKings.
Oh, I'm looking at FanDuel. I should apologize.
Yeah. So I mean, but Pollard. I mean, is Zeke out? I just saw someone.
Zeke is out.
Zeke is out. Pollard's definitely interesting. I'm gonna have to go tweak some of my stuff and put some Pollard in.
Okay. In case you also didn't hear, Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki are both out as well.
I'm trying to find that. I can't find that anywhere.
Devontae Parker's out.
Yes, Devontae Parker is out.
Hey, G, you going to give everybody the secret wide receiver from the Dolphins this week?
Hold on one time.
Lynn Bowden.
There it is.
What do you have? Uncle Lenny, is your top value at running back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Courtney, so what say you?
What?
Lenny.
What did you ask? I just got attacked by dogs. I'm in a secret spot, and they just all came in and just roughed me up. So,
do you like Uncle Lenny today for DFS?
Your top value running back with Zeke out.
you talking about Pollard?
Nope, Leonard Fournette.
Oh, Leonard Fournette. What's my choices? Are you just talking about in DFS?
Yeah, is he just a top value play now?
You know,
that's a tough question.
It really is, because if I had the choice, I think that I think I would go with if I had to choose between Fournette and, like, say, Pollard, I'd pick up Pollard and save my money for somewhere else.
So we got Pollard, we got Edwards.
I honestly think I'd play Pollard too.
I'd pick up Pollard.
So Jared too, are you shifting off of Edwards and going to Pollard then?
Okay.
Me?
No, Jared too.
Yeah. So I am going to try and fit Pollard into my lineups. He's only 300 more than Gus Edwards. is what I just heard. I think I haven't looked at the pricing. I thought he was like 5,200, but
on FanDuel the gap is significant. Pollard, Gus Edwards, and Leonard Fournette are both 5,500. Pollard's 4,700, $800.
Wow.
I would go with Pollard.
It's a significant difference.
And Pollard catches the ball too, which is huge on DraftKings. A full point PPR is a big deal, and not to say that Fournette doesn't. I'm actually on the Buccaneers aerial assault. That's my stack is Brady, Gronk, and Godwin ran back with Ridley. So because of that, I think I'd be a lot less likely to play Fournette just because I can't play two Buccaneer receivers, a quarterback, and a running back. That's just too much.
Fournette has eclipsed more than 4 receptions just twice all year.
And let's think about this. Before Rojo went down, that man was a healthy scratch. So he was in Arians' doghouse for whatever reasons known to man. And for some weird and messed up reason, LaShawn McCoy has been getting touches again and been being a third down running back as well.
Tom Brady asked for that. Is what I heard.
That's even worse. So there you go. I'm on the Pollard train myself.
It's hard for me to trust anybody in Tampa Bay running back if it's not Rojo.
McCoy has not seen more than 40% of the offensive snaps all year in any game.
Yeah, but he hasn't been playing. So, I mean, is Rojo out for sure this game?
Ron Jones is out.
Yeah, he was COVID-less.
He's a COVID. He can't play.
Yeah. Your ass is dead for a week if you get COVID.
3 weeks.
No, 2 weeks at least. At least 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Justin wants to know your thoughts on Emmanuel Sanders. Anyone at all? Emmanuel Sanders.
DFS, season long. What is this? I mean,
he's an exceptional value on DraftKings at 4,200. He's going to see at a minimum of 8 targets. But, I mean, he's going to be 35% owned as well, so take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Sanders on FanDuel is 5,500.
Yeah, he's going to be owned. He's going to be, highly owned. I think Emmanuel Sanders is graded out. He is grading out as my top wide receiver value. He's number 1. And the funny thing is, the number 2 is actually Traquan Smith. So.
Oh, wait a minute. Sorry.
Yeah, he's talking about Miles.
He's talking about Miles Sanders.
Oh,
And we all just talked about Miles, how it's hard to trust him. I mean, I know he played good last week, but Jalen Hurts is going to be running at the goal line too, so it's kind of hard to. I mean, do you have other choices?
But it also depends on what his other options are. If he just wants that perspective on Miles Sanders, that's a different answer versus what his options are.
Absolutely.
So if you can just reply back with your options, and then we can give you some more perspective.
I don't think anybody in this chat room is going to tell you to go pick up Gus Edwards and start him ahead of Miles Sanders. I don't
know about you, man. You might just say that.
I mean, I was on Gus, but
I think he means DFS because I know Justin. He's a DFS player. Oh, yep. See, there you go.
Oh, it is DFS.
I think it's a GPP play on FanDuel. I think there's a better option than Miles Sanders. Like I said, this week, I didn't say it yet, but this week running backs is really hard. Besides the obvious like Alvin Kamara and Derrick Henry, you're gonna if you have a third running back, that's how your roster is gonna be very different because you can have Leonard Fournette, you can have Jonathan Taylor, you can have
James Robinson.
Yeah, James Robinson, Cam Akers, DeAndre Swift. I can keep going. But
yeah, so Miles Sanders is listed on FanDuel at 6,800. Here are the running backs who are cheaper. I start over him. Cam Akers, Kenyon Drake, J.K. Dobbins, I would start over him. David Montgomery, even I would consider.
Yeah, it's tough this week. I mean, and now with the Pollard news, it's even more frustrating for me, especially. It's just frustrating that more value opened up. But, I mean, do we want to go over the DFS plays real quick?
Yeah, please do.
Sure. And one quick correction, David Montgomery is actually a little more expensive than Miles Sanders, so I'll take that back.
So I guess the guy at quarterback, I'm keeping it pretty simple. I'm targeting that New Orleans Kansas City game. So Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes will both great plays. Let me pull up my sheet.
Hey, do you think Brees is going to stay in for the whole game?
Yeah. He's fine. Dr. Morris, I talked with him on Twitter, I think it's, and I watched his comment on what he was saying. He's kind of shocked that they brought him back, but it's just it's more of a. I think they want to win this game because they have the same record, right? Like, don't they? What's their record?
Are you talking about with who? The Packers?
No,
For the
New Orleans and Kansas City.
Okay, I thought you were talking about for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean,
records.
Because every team right now just they know home field is so much, but
it wouldn't really make that much sense for New Orleans to rush him back if he wasn't 100% healthy, because like we were just saying, like, they're in the opposite division. So this game, other than being a great game to watch and a huge game to see on TV with all the TV dollars, other than that, there's really no reason to rush Breeze back unless he's 100%.
Dude, the player don't give a shit about us.
No, literally they don't.
The Buffalo Bills proved that yesterday when they were trying to get Knox, Lee Smith, who else?
No, so quarterback, I have, let's see, Patrick Mahomes, and now Lamar Jackson didn't play, but I won't be playing him. Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees, what's his name? Where is he? Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts for a cash game, not for DPP, and Phillip Rivers. A lot of people were shocked when I said Phillip Rivers on the podcast.
I'm not.
I like Phillip Rivers this week.
I do too.
He's cheap.
Yep.
But more than likely, my main two quarterbacks are Mahomes and Drew Brees. The Drew Brees is cheap. He hasn't been this cheap in a long time. So, I mean, he's been in the league a long time, though. So,
Chalk Breeze kind of scares me because I think he's going to be one of the highest owned quarterbacks this weekend. Even before his injury, from a fantasy perspective, he wasn't very good. So I'm not excited to roster Breeze. I know he's cheap, but at the same point in time, you're getting a lot of check down stuff from Breeze. You're not getting a lot of passing yards. I think off the top of my head, I think he was averaging anywhere from like 220 to 250 before his injury. I don't have that on the top of my head, but that's just going off memory. And for me, I just don't see the upside of Breeze. Breeze has to throw like 3 or 4 touchdowns to exceed his value and be in a GPP winning lineup.
So I was worried about what you just said, but I went back and looked at his game log in the game that he actually has to be competitive, in the game that the other side of the offense is scoring points. But obviously the Tampa Bay game, you can throw that out the window because their defense just dominated them. But that was a 38-3 game, and he got 23 points. And Carolina Panther game, that was 27-24. He got 24 points. In the LA Chargers game, it was 30-27. But and he got, 25 points. In the Green Bay game, which was 30-37, he got 23 points. So I think in games that he has to score, and he's going to have to score versus Kansas City. We can all agree on that, right? So, I mean, he's going to put up numbers. Yeah, maybe Taysom Hill will come in for a couple gadget plays like before. I'm just going to tell people this. Don't even think Taysom Hill is a future quarterback. This guy was just, he was fun to watch. He did okay, but he's not an NFL quarterback. I mean, just Drew Brees, once he retires, they're going to have to draft a quarterback because unless they're keeping Jameis Winston, I don't see anything else. But it's just, I looked at that because, like, I was really worried because is he going to really play the whole game? If he gets hit, 11 broken ribs is not something to mess around with. I don't know if you guys – man, I just wake up from, like, a long night of drinking and my rib or something. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. And I didn't even get hit by a big-ass 330-pound lineman that can run a 4.5 something, you know. I just got hit by a bottle of vodka or something, you know. But I can't – they have a good offensive line. I think they'll protect them. They'll do okay.
All right, let's get to a question real quick. Jackie wants to know season league pick 1 of 3 and 1 point PPR at tight end. Goddard, Gronk, or Jared Cook? Jared number 1. What would you say? And she wants you to rank those 3 too.
Give me the options.
Yep. Dallas Goddard, Rob Gronkowski, Jared Cook. Your 3. She needs 1, or he needs 1.
I'm going
Sorry.
Jared Cook.
I can't trust Goddard anymore with Hurts in there.
It's a tough question.
I don't like either of the first two. I think Cook has the opportunity to break out with Thomas being out, and Brees can actually hit his tight ends unlike Hill. I want to say Goddard initially. If Wentz was in, I'd say Goddard, but I have to go with Cook here out of the 3.
So if you were ranking them, you would rank Cook, Goddard, and Gronk? Is that how you're ranking them?
I'm going to go Cook, Gronk, and Goddard.
Oh, okay.
I have the
All right.
same order. The Jareds agree. Same order. Cook,
Jareds agree.
Gronk, Goddard.
I actually think Cook's going to have a great game today because we know that Drew's coming off of his injury and he might not be able to get that deep ball down there. And so Cook's going to be the one that he looks for. And I think that Hurts is a good quarterback, but I think last week might have been a little bit of a fluke. And I can't trust Goddard. I just can't right now. So I'm going Cook.
So you're going Cook, Gronk, and Goddard too?
Yep.
Ahmed, what do you got?
Oh, this is where the fun begins, fellas. All right. Jared Cook, before Breeze went down, let's look at the games that he actually did play with Breeze, okay? He did run more routes once when Breeze was on the field. His average route number drops by over 5 routes a game once Taysom Hill took over. If you go back from week 10 and back, the most targets Jared Cook saw was 7, and he saw that twice all year. Before that, he only topped 5. He only topped 4 targets once with Drew Brees, and he's never topped more than 5 receptions in any game this year, including with Brees.
It's the
He's had
tight
5.
end
Wait.
position. What do you want him to turn into Darren Waller every week?
So I'm just saying that what you're hoping for is a touchdown for him to hit that double-digit mark. Every game except for one where he scored a touchdown, he's not finished, at least with 10 fantasy points. Now, again, let's talk about touchdowns against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are giving up the 8th most fantasy points to the tight end position, and also have given up the 4th most touchdowns to the tight end position. So is he a good play this week with Drew Brees coming back? I would say so, given the defense. So as crazy as this sounds, I'm going to go with Jared Cook, then Rob Gronkowski, and Dallas Goddard. But keep in mind, Rob Gronkowski, the past 4 weeks, has seen at least 74.1% of the offensive snaps and has run, excluding last week, the past 3 weeks prior, 24 routes, and has seen at least 6. Well, he's seen 6 targets 2 out of the 3 weeks last week. He's seen a red zone target every week, except for week 1 and week 2. He's seen a red zone target every week in the NFL. That leads all tight ends.
Hey, what do you got, Ben?
I just laughed because Hammond sounded like so emotional about that. I'm like,
I'm ready to write a novel with his hands when he's explaining
yeah, I'm like, wow, this guy. I have Jared Cook number 1, Goddard number 2, Gronk number 3.
Okay, I have another season tight end question. Dallas Goddard or Jordan Reed?
Goddard.
Yeah, Goddard. I'm not even gonna look at anything. I'm just gonna say Goddard. There's no emotional speech here, guys.
The stats guy says, I'm not pulling any stats on Jordan Reed.
All right, and then another one. Oh, no, this is GPP. Justin, it was going back to Murray and Arnold at tight end, good or bad, 2-man stack, GPP.
Well, I'll say this, that they talked about this on the Friday show, Gerson, Tim, and Jeff, that the 2 tight end, so flexing your tight end on DraftKings where you're playing 2 tight ends has actually won the tournament now 3 or 4 times this season with 2 tight ends. So
okay.
I won't do that though. I'll never.
I won't either, but I just thought we should mention it.
Yeah, I won't ever play a tight end in my DraftKings flex or fantasy.
Yeah, in your flex.
We should have clown plays of the week with Jared too.
Oh yeah, clown play. You guys don't know about the clown play.
Go ahead. I mean, Yeah, man, go ahead and what's your clown play?
The clown plays would be like a sick call. It's very similar to a sick call because
I had that a couple of weeks ago when I said bench Zeke Elliott for Henry Ruggs, David Montgomery, and Wayne Gallman. Worked out pretty well.
Oh, jeez, there it is.
I got to pat myself on the back, guys. I gotta do it.
Me and Jared will message me talk about like a single game, and I always say that there's one guy in a single game that is going to be like the tight end 3 that 2 or 3% is going to have, and he's going to score, and he's going to make the top heavy, and it happens every single week. We message each other; it's hilarious. We got clown gifts going back and forth, but it's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
I think that Justin wants affirmation because he's stacking Murray with Arnold.
I wouldn't stack. I wouldn't even stack. Honestly, unless you're stacking him with Hopkins, you're not really playing him with anybody else. I mean,
Hopkins and Murray just have such a good correlation. Like when you play Murray, you basically force yourself to play Hopkins.
Yeah, but to be honest, to me, I don't know. I think Kyler Murray. He had a good game last week. He did have a good game last week, right? It was last week.
Yeah, he had a good
He
game.
had a decent game,
Yeah. But to me, it's just he's 7,000. I mean, actually, I like you guys. That's not a good game for DFS, for DPP. That's 18 points. You want 25, 20, 30 points.
There's better options.
Yeah, there's better options. To me, that $7,000 price tag, and then Dan Arnold, the postman, or whatever they call him. He's done okay. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna pay $3,500 for Dan Arnold. I don't know what he is on FanDuel because I think Justin just said he plays on FanDuel, but I'm guessing he's not like 4,500 or 4,200.
Oh wow, he's 5,200. I would not touch that.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch Dan Arnold. I mean, he gotten lucky with touchdowns. Take away those touchdowns, you're looking at 2 receptions, 1 week. Well. He legit has 6 receptions in the last 4 games. That could be anything. So,
and to add to that, so Dan Arnold has not seen more than 33.8% of the offensive snaps in the past 3 weeks. So now let's go further. How many targets? He's only seen no more than 4 targets, and that was only once in the past 3 weeks. And he has no more than 2 receptions in the past 3 weeks. Even when he had the 2 touchdowns, he had 61 yards off of 2 receptions. That's chunk yardage right there. So you're really banking on the efficiency. 2 receptions, 27 yards and a touchdown. 1 reception, 2 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Like you can't bank on that efficiency. And at the price on FanDuel, at least, I don't have DraftKings, $5,200. You can do significantly better at tight end than $5,200.
Gee, did you say he was 3,500 on DraftKings?
Dan Arnold?
Yeah, I think that's what you said.
Yeah, he's 3,500.
Yeah, Jared Cook's 3,400. Stop thinking so hard about it.
I mean,
all right, there we go. That answers that.
Let's finish up the plays.
All right, got your answers. So Kyle, hi Kyle. Kyle wants and has another Goddard question in PPR. Goddard or Logan Thomas?
Goddard.
Logan Thomas for me.
Thomas.
That's right. Agree with me, everybody.
Logan Thomas is going to get butchered having Haskins be his quarterback.
Yeah, I'm
just telling you guys right now. I don't like Goddard, but I like him more than I like Thomas.
Yeah, I like Goddard better.
Okay, well, guys, real quick about Goddard versus Logan Thomas here. Last 2 weeks, Goddard has seen 86 and 90% of the offensive snaps. You want to guess how many of the offensive snaps has Logan Thomas seen the past 3 weeks? Anyone want to take a guess?
100.
Thank you. Yes, he has seen 100% of the offensive snaps the past 3 weeks.
Play him.
Combined.
Courtney, Jared, you see what I'm dealing with week in and week out when we're on the show. You see what you listen when I have to do it.
Well,
I like it.
In 10 minutes, you can go back to your normal Sunday, you know.
I feel like Hamid and Jared's blood pressure rises just a slight hair during the show, bickering back and forth at each other. Because I've seen Hamid write the novel with his hands, and Jared, he's more of a slapper. He slaps his hands. Boom, boom, boom.
So this is a true story. I'm pretty sure everybody, if you have questions about DFS, but this is a true story. People ask me, hey man, how did you meet these people on your show? I'm like, I don't. I've never met them. And they're like, I'm like, I've met Jeff and I met Tim, you know, because I flew out to watch football games with them. And then they asked me about the Sunday show with you guys, you know. I'm like, I've never met them, but they're like, so what? How can you relate to them? They like football. I like football, and it's cool. I mean, they argue about football. I argue about football all the time. They're like, yeah, but and this guy watches my show every Sunday. He just doesn't comment because he just likes to hear the information. And I'm like, he goes, oh, those two guys sure argue a lot, though. Do they know each other personally? I'm like, I don't think so. But,
the worst part about it is Hamid actually lived like 10 minutes from me before I moved to Florida, and we never really linked up.
Yeah.
And then he goes, so do you ever get annoyed when they argue too much? I'm like, no, man, because I need some entertainment every now and then in the morning.
Yeah, man.
You're lucky you guys never met up or one of you would
except when I say bench Aaron Jones, then he logs back on the show and spazzes out about it.
Oh, I spazzed out when he said that. Oh, God.
Yeah, I
Yo,
think
you brought G back on the show when you said that.
Yeah,
G came back on the show.
He
He
back
already
on the
logged
show,
off. He came
Jared.
back on the show.
Kyle has a question.
Go ahead. So start one, Chase Claypool, Corey Davis, Hines, in a half-point PPR and half-point first down. Okay, this is that crazy.
Oh, God, yes, stupid
Weird.
league.
It's weird.
Do it again.
Come on. So half-point PPR, half-point first down, Chase Claypool, Corey Davis, or Naheem Hines. He already has A.J. Brown and Jonathan Taylor in his lineup.
Corey Davis.
Yeah, Corey Davis, because he
Claypool.
I'm going Claypool.
Wait, why would you guys go Claypool?
Because Tennessee's going to be up by 24 at the half. Derrick Henry's going to have 375 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns by halftime. They ain't going to be throwing the ball.
Okay, let me ask a question. If he didn't have Jonathan Taylor in his lineup, would you guys go Naheem Hines?
No.
No.
It's PPR and half a first down. So why are you going wide receiver over running back?
Because Hines is not getting the usage that he was the past few weeks. Like in the middle of the season, Hines was great. But Taylor's getting 20+ carries and he's getting like 5 targets. So I don't think there's a reason to start both of them, even if there is a half-point first down, which is the easiest thing ever.
That conversation. Because Jonathan Taylor. So it's Chase Claypool or Corey Davis. And we got what? G, what do you got?
I got Davis. Here's my opinion on this is that the players that get first down are running backs usually. A wide receiver will get you like 1 or 2 first downs on the day, you know. Maybe if you're Michael Thomas, it's 15 of them, but that was not last year, not this year, obviously, or Monte Adam. But I think to me, it's just like you just mentioned. You said Chase, Corey Davis, they're gonna blow out. Well, guess what? Last time I checked, Cincinnati Bengals not so good either. So, I mean, they're gonna get blown out too, the Bengals. So, Davis to me is just more appealing, but that's just me.
Actually, Corey Davis had his best fantasy day, second best fantasy day against this very team back in Week 8, where he finished with 8 for 128 and a touchdown. I'll go with Corey Davis here.
Hey, just to take a rewind up to last week, you remember when you guys all liked McKissick and I like Mike Davis, who had like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns? Yeah,
Hey,
that's right.
That was drunky like McKissick. Almost Ethan Davis, okay?
I hate you, Mike Davis, for yesterday. I hate you, Mike Davis.
I know.
Hey, it's not Mike Davis'
I was happy,
fault.
Courtney.
Hey, I still hate him.
So just
He can't put a gun to his coach's head and say, "Put me on the field, coach."
I mean, I get it, but I can still hate him.
You can hate him. That's fair.
Jared, who do you have?
So if you put anything, if it means anything at all, according to NBCSports.com, the first down receptions on 3rd and 3 yards or less, the guy that's tied for 4th in the league is Corey Davis with 4. So if that's any indication, that could be helpful.
I felt like that stat was going to be so cool, and then you said he's tied for 4th in the league with 4, and all I could think of is, well, that's 2 points over the whole damn season.
Because well, no, this is just for third down and 3 yards or less, though.
Yeah. You could be like Facebook, where they say Cole Beasley is the best wide receiver in the league. He top 5 and more points than DK Metcalf, more yards than that. They bring like a whole bunch of.
I remember seeing that.
It's freaking Cole Beasley. I'm not gonna think he's better than DK Metcalf.
No.
Yeah, I love how people can try to hide. Like I always say this. In DFS and fantasy, you can make a bad play a good play, and it's stupid because I remember and I have nothing against him. It's just I'm not a fan of him. Matthew Berry, he had an article every year. I think it's the top 100. He's like, I can give you a stat and flip it the other way around. That's the way it is with every player. You know, you make it look good, or you can make him look bad. But yeah, I don't know who the hell this guy is.
And if it matters, in Jared and Courtney's defense, for the entire league, Claypool's actually the top guy in first down receptions. With the 3 options we had, Claypool's actually the leader in first down catches just in general with 14.
Justin, hey, I think this one's specifically for you. Justin missed the quarterbacks for FanDuel. He needs a quarterback since you crushed his Murray dreams.
We didn't crush your Murray dreams.
To me, I like Kyler Murray, but it just, to me, when I stack my players, I do 2 wide receivers on the same team and one coming back the other way. I don't see who you're gonna do. Jalen Reagor, Dallas Goddard. I mean, that's it. And then you're gonna have to play DeAndre Hopkins and Dan Arnold, who you've been talking about. No, I'm good. I'm gonna pass on that. But on FanDuel, I think the best play is for sure.
Phillip Rivers, 7,100.
No, hold on.
I mean, you could go
Kirk Cousins is 72. Yeah, he's been super consistent. Kirk Cousins has been super consistent at 7,200 on FanDuel.
As crazy as it sounds, though, I start Mr. Trubisky over Kirk Cousins.
I don't like the Vikings going against the Bears this week. And you guys, I think some of you guys know I'm a Vikings fan.
No.
We never play well against the Bears. But yeah, Cousins is viable. I'm still on Brady pretty much everywhere for GPPs. Hurts is a good cash game quarterback.
Yeah, Cousins, River, dude. I'm going back to Drew Brees, man. That game is just crazy, insanely going to be. It's going to be the game of the day. I'm excited for it, but I think Cousins probably the number 1 best value quarterback next to Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. But you really can't stack those guys because they don't have viable weapon. Kirk Cousins has Jefferson and Thielen. So yeah, we got 1 minute. Are we going to extend the show? Or are we done with it? What are we doing here?
Well, first, Browns or Dolphins defense? Whatever you guys want to do. I don't care. Browns or Dolphins defense?
Browns.
Dolphins.
I'm going Browns.
The Dolphins defense is the best fantasy defense in the entire NFL. But the Patriots run the ball an insane rate, and they're the most boring team in football to watch, which means Cam Newton isn't going to be giving up sacks unless he's not going to be throwing interceptions as much, because I only think Cam Newton they try to keep him like 25 to 30, which is actually under compared to most teams. And they love to run the ball. I know that Harris is out, so you're going to see Michelle, you're going to see James White and Newton. The Patriots are just one of those teams that is so hard for your defense to score against them because they're so boring when it comes to fantasy.
Just be honest, Jared. Be honest.
The Giants.
You know what's crazy though? Say what you want about the
Dolphins,
Patriots. The Patriots have been really bad this year, but their defense, if you look at the numbers, both of these defenses are second and third in the league with the fewest passing touchdowns given up to the quarterback position. Not only that, the Miami Dolphins are second in the league, and the Patriots tied for third in the league with the most interceptions in the league. On top of that, the Dolphins are ranked the 7th lowest in the league, and the Patriots are the 3rd lowest in the league in fantasy points allowed to the quarterback position. So this game itself might be pretty low scoring, and the Patriots are not a bad defense to start. They've given up So we got as far as completions go, they've also given up the second fewest completions to the quarterback position. I don't think this is a game where Tua is going to actually have a good game. I think both teams will turn the ball over because both of these teams are pretty good at turnovers. So the only issue I will have with the Patriots is that
wait, it's not the Patriots defense. He's asking about the Browns and the Dolphins defense.
Yeah.
Well, no, it leads into the point that I think when it goes back to the Browns now, the Browns do face the Giants, and I think with the Giants being shorthanded, I do think that the Browns are a better defense to play. And the reason why I was giving those numbers was because I think both offenses are going to be put in great positions because of their defenses. They're both going to have short yardage. I can't imagine. I imagine they're going to have short yardage, which means easier scoring opportunities. So not a lot of yardage, but I think the scoring might be a little bit higher, enough for me to take the Browns over here.
Maybe it's just me, but thanks a lot. I mean, now I'm feeling nervous because in my semifinal matchup in championship, I went and picked up the Dolphins defense because they were on waivers, and I started them over. Well, who was the defense?
How are they on waivers?
Hold on.
How are they on waivers?
Hey! I picked them up, okay. If it was there, I was gonna pick them up. I'm smart enough.
Cam Newton's been sacked about the middle of the road at 23 times and is 5th in the NFL in interceptions. The Dolphins, Xavier Howard alone almost has that many interceptions. I'm confident in the fact that we're going to at least see 2 turnovers and a couple sacks on Newton. I would say Miami.
I'm just amazed that people didn't talk about the whole Bill Belichick versus rookie quarterback narrative with Tua Tagovailoa. I'm like, well, all of a sudden that narrative.
That's and before, on the show.
And if we are logging off, before anything, one name that has not been mentioned by anybody that you should play is Brandon Ayuk, who's gotten 50 targets, 49 targets the last 4 games. Just keep that in note. In 3 of those games, he's almost had 100-yard receptions, 91, 95, 119, and 3 touchdowns. So he should be one of your prime plays in DFS today.
You know, because I'm a nice guy.
That's why.
I'm gonna prove why I'm a nice guy. Okay, guys. I'm going to agree and back his point with stats. Since week 7, the fewest fantasy points Brian Ayuk has had is 17.5. That's his floor since week 7. So yes, Brandon Ayuk is a must-start in FanDuel this week and also next week if you do decide to play FanDuel. Also, my parting stat for the day, and this is going to be a little bit surprising, the Niners defense gave up 60 yards to Devin Singletary, J.D. McKissick 100 yards, and Peyton Barber over 100 yards. So if you have Tony Pollard, you can start him. I credit this stat to the Rural Lounge Fantasy Football Man.
Okay. I'm not even sure what to do with that, but
Tony Pollard isn't that much of a fade in FanDuel if you want to start him.
Okay. So I just got my final upload on projection.
Yep.
Tony Pollard is actually now going to be the number 1 value at running back. The usage is all going to be all him. I can't even remember the backup running back to Tony Pollard. Who would it be? So he's going to get all the touches. It'd be Alvin Kamara, number 1 value, number 2 Pollard, and then Leonard Fournette. Wide receivers, Ayuk is a great play. Top play, probably one of the top plays of the day. Emmanuel Sanders, Lynn Bowden Jr. I guess I've been saying it wrong the whole time. Brian Ayuk, T.Y. Hilton.
T.Y. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Justin Jefferson and Thielen, of course, I'm always going to play them, but Tyreek Hill is probably my number 1 play. Those are the guys I'm looking at. I'm targeting that New Orleans game a lot. At tight end, Garrett Cook, T.J. Hawkinson, Irv Smith Jr., Dallas Goddard, Mark Andrews. Those are most of the guys I like. The defense. Travis Kelce, obviously. Sorry. I mean, I should have not picked Travis Kelce. That defense is Seahawks defense, Cardinals defense, Buccaneers, Rams, Washington football team, and the Ravens. The Ravens defense a lot effective against Jacksonville. The Eagles defense is really cheap. They're probably one of the best value defense. Other than that, that's my DFS play. I wanted to make a toast to all you guys before I leave. Go ahead.
Go ahead, G.
No, whoever, if you guys have something to say, because I'm going to give it a very good toast. It's pretty cool because it's funny because we've only had like a few hosts and 2 of them are on the show right now. So I like it.
I was just gonna say Merry Christmas, y'all, and thank y'all for letting me join y'all these last 2 weeks. It's been a lot of fun.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for joining us.
I was just gonna say my parting ways before I let G do a big toast. You can find me on Twitter at the Yeti Express. It's a new name change. I dropped the number 2, so I'm just at the Yeti Express now. And you can find me pretty much writing for Going for 2 and hanging out with a lot of these guys, having fun doing podcasts and bringing all the stuff that we try to bring to you. We have a lot of fun. You guys that ask the questions help keep us going and make our days fun. So thank you for being here, and I'll pass it over to Courtney for her.
Oh, same thing, guys. I appreciate everything. I'm looking forward to everybody's Going for 2 feel-good article. Mine's almost done, and I'm really excited about the Christmas articles. So you can find me at Love Tractor 3. And, man, it's been an amazing season, and I cannot wait for next season just so I can be back on this train. You guys have helped. I'm a nurse, and you guys have helped clear my head when all I can think about is the crap in the world, and this is a healthy outlet for me, and I really, really appreciate it. So thank you.
You're the real MVP, then. You're the real MVP, not us.
We're just scrubs. You're the real MVP.
No. I just appreciate the outlet.
You're putting your life on the line. No, there are doctors and nurses unfortunately dying because they're taking care of patients who have that. So, that's a testament.
Well, I just appreciate it. I really appreciate it, guys. I really do.
Hey, when you're working, Courtney, let me know, and I'll buy you your lunch. I'll board that for you.
And my parting feel good one is for everybody that thinks me and Jared actually hate each other. We don't. It just so happens that we disagree on a lot of our takes. But he's a smart guy sometimes. But what do you call it? But yeah, he's a good dude. We're friends. We get along just fine. We don't hate each other. We just argue because it just happens to fall that way.
Did you happen to notice only 1 out of 2 people said that?
You guys are like Jerry Seinfeld and Newman. Like if you guys didn't bicker and fight, it wouldn't. The show wouldn't be the same.
Truth.
Hey, there's nothing worse. Our listeners and followers.
Before G does his toast, Goff, Brees, or Jalen Hurts 4 points for a passing touchdown.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go Goff on this one.
4-point passing touchdown.
No, Hurts because he had rushing upside.
Hurts essentially has like 2 TD maximum passing touchdown upside.
The assumption here is that the rushing touchdown is probably 6 points.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I would rather play Goff because it's weighted heavier towards passing touchdowns than normal leagues are. Only by a point, but I'm going against Cam Akers in 2 of my 3 leagues this week, so screw Cam Akers and go Jared Goff.
So I'm going with Drew. That's tough. Jalen Hurts, man, with his rushing upside. I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts on this one. It's really close, though. I wouldn't blame you if you went Drew Brees, though. But Goff would be off the table for me just because of the matchup. It's too easy of a matchup.
I'm a Saints fan, and I'm going Brees because I think it's going to be a shootout, and I think that Brees is going to come back, and he is going to be like, look, I might be old and I might be hurt, but I'm coming back.
I'm just old. I'm not coming back. Gladys, what do you got to say?
Hey, I just want to say thank everyone for joining in, giving us your questions, for joining us every Sunday morning. Thank you guys for being on, for being so easy to work with, for giving great answers to all the questions. Jared, Hamid, enjoyed.
As far as our watchers, I don't know if anyone would watch if Hamid and I had a weekly show that's debate style or not, where we could poll our watchers on what they would like to hear and listen to. So, and let's talk about. If there's interest in that, we'd love your feedback, though.
And I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being like the calm drinking presence every morning.
I could also be Alvin Kamara with this thing on my head.
You could, yes.
For for someone.
All right, G, send us away.
All right, guys. It's been 15 weeks, 15 great weeks. Some of them I wake up hungover. Some of them I wake up with water. Some of them I just wake up to get entertained by two guys and a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful host. Just killed it this year, Gladys. I honestly, when Jeff said we're gonna have Gladys on the show, I'm like, can she handle my aggressive personality? I don't want to offend her. Not because she's a woman, it's because my mama taught me better to respect women than not be complete G like who I am. Like, you need to tone it down, dude. Like, be respectful. But
this ain't a dating profile, G.
No, well, you don't know my mama. She probably watched the show. She probably smacked me a couple of times, you know. But I can't tell you, she killed it this year. If it wasn't for her, this show wouldn't be as great. I love both of you guys, man. Aunt Jared, how many of you guys spit out great stuff? And it was a lot of fun this year, and I can't wait to do it next year and the year after that, and the year after. Well, I don't know how long I'm gonna live, but how long I live. But the Going for Two family, and of course, we couldn't do this show without all of our fans. All of our people that tune in every Sunday and ask a million questions, I hope. But thank you very much. And cheers to everybody. Much love. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's.
Cheers, everybody.
Have a good one, guys. Take it easy.
Playoff in the DFS win